the principal figure, the instigator in this fraudulent and corrupt venture. High-ranking officials may well have been involved, but their involvement appears to have followed upon the initiative of accused one. Although the law permits the counts to be taken together for the purpose of sentence, to do so, in taking all 7 counts together for the purpose of sentence, as agreed, may cause an imbalance, and as a result, an unjust sentence. Therefore, my earlier specific reference to the serious nature of the offences of corruption and money laundering. The National Prosecuting Authority and the accused set out circumstances they view as substantial and compelling, which may move the court to consider a sentence outside those preferred under minimum sentence legislation. These are recorded in Exhibit D, paragraph G, on page 16. Section 105A, subsection 7B, Roman 2 of the Criminal Procedure Act requires that the court must have due regard to prescribed minimum sentences governed by Act 105 of 1997, even at considering whether a plea and sentence agreement is just. On the count of fraud, a period of 15 years imprisonment is ordained. I have duly considered the submissions by the National Prosecuting Authority and the accused, and in applying the principle laid down in S v. Malgas 2002-2 SA 1222 Supreme Court of Appeal, I find that where minimum sentence legislation applies, substantial and compelling circumstances do exist. The record will reflect these circumstances as those referred to in Exhibit D. Though I have rejected accused one's willingness to assist the authorities as a sign of remorse, I do acknowledge the fact that accused one is cooperating in the ongoing investigation and agreed to participate and cooperate in future ventures by the National Prosecuting Authority to bring other alleged criminals to book. I am therefore satisfied that the prescribed minimum sentence relevant to count number 1, that of 15 years imprisonment, may be departed from. Limited information pertaining accused 2 and 3's financial position, whether they are still active companies or dormant, etc., was put before me. The court largely relied on the agreed sentence between the parties with due regard to the earlier mentioned factors and circumstances. Considering the objectives of Section 105A, the evidence placed before me, and the cumulative effect of sentences, I find that the following to be a just sentence. It must be noted the accused is not sentenced to this. It is now, following the court's reading out of what the court views as just, for the parties to consider whether indeed they agree with the court. Should they agree with the court that this is a just sentence, the parties being the accused person, 1, 2, and 3, as well as the National Prosecuting Authority, the court will only then proceed to convict the accused and then hand down the sentence as the court viewed just. The sentence viewed as just by this court. Accused 1, count 1, that of fraud, 15 years imprisonment, of which 7 years are suspended for a period of 5 years on condition that 1. The accused does not commit the offence of fraud, theft, corruption in contravention of Section 3 or 4 of the Prevention and Combating of Corrupt Activities Act 12 of 2004, or money laundering in contravention of Section 4, 5, or 6 of the Prevention of Organised Crime Act 121 of 1998 during the period of suspension. The next condition, or the accused at any time upon the request of the state will depose of a statement or statements under oath and testify at all future criminal matters in which he is implicated directly or indirectly, or as the director of accused 2 or accused 3 during the period of suspension. The next condition, or the accused must testify frankly and honestly without withholding any testimony about his involvement in any other person's involvement in all such criminal matters, even where such testimony implicates him in the commission of criminal offences as envisaged by Section 204 of the Criminal Procedure Act during the period of suspension. Or the accused may not refuse to testify in future proceedings or retract any of his formal statements to the investigators during the period of suspension. or the accused may not leave the Republic of South Africa during the period of suspension. Accused 1, counts 2, 3, and 4, those of corruption. The 3 counts are taken together for the purpose of sentence, and the accused 1 is sentenced to 10 years imprisonment, of which 8 years are to run concurrent with the sentence imposed on count number 1. Counts 5, 6, and 7, money laundering, in respect of accused 1. These counts are taken together for the purpose of sentence. 10 years imprisonment, of which 8 years are to run concurrent with the sentence imposed on count number 1. The net result is a period of 12 years imprisonment. In terms of section 1031 of Act 60 of 2000, the accused 1 remains unfit to possess a firearm. Accused 2, on count number 1, that of fraud, a fine of 1 million rand, wholly suspended for a period of 5 years on condition that the accused is not convicted of fraud or theft committed during the period of suspension. Accused 2, on count 2, 3, and 4, that of corruption. These counts are taken together for purpose of sentence. A fine of 500,000 rand, wholly suspended for a period of 5 years on condition that accused 2 is not convicted of corruption in contravention of section 3 or 4 of the Prevention of Combating of Corrupt Activities Act 12 of 2004, committed during the period of suspension. In respect of accused 2, counts 5, 6, and 7, that of money laundering, they are taken together for the purpose of sentence. A fine of 500,000 rand, wholly suspended for a period of 5 years on condition that the accused is not convicted of money laundering in contravention of section 4, 5, or 6 of the Prevention of Organised Crime Act 121 of 1998, committed during the period of suspension. In respect of accused number 3, counts 2, 3, and 4 of corruption, it is taken together for the purposes of sentence, and accused 3 is fined to 500,000 rand, wholly suspended for a period of 5 years on condition that accused 3 is not convicted of corruption in contravention of section 3 or 4 of the Prevention of Combating of Corrupt Activities Act 12 of 2004, committed during the period of suspension. In respect of accused 3, counts 5, 6, and 7, that of money laundering, these counts are taken together for the purpose of sentence. Accused 3 is sentenced to a fine of 500,000 rand, wholly suspended for a period of 5 years on condition that the accused is not convicted of money laundering in contravention of section 4 or 5 or 6 of the Prevention of Organised Crime Act 121 of 1998, committed during the period of suspension. That is the sentence the court views just. The parties will now be handed each a copy of this sentence the court views just for them to consider. I will have a short adjournment. You can give me indication if you need more time to consider same, or whether you are in a position then today to have the matter finalized. There's the copy for the state and the copy for the defense. Shall we have, you will give me indication?
Indeed, so Your Worship, obviously we'll seek to consult with the accused person in view of the sentence that the court has just read out. It's obviously not what was anticipated in terms of our agreement, so we will need an opportunity. I'm just not sure because the court indicated that it has another role, the court's availability to accommodate us, or if perhaps I take quick instructions now from the accused, whether we seek more time or will be able to deal with it or roll it over to another day for him to consider what has now been imposed. Can I just have a minute?
Can I give you 30 minutes to consider this? And if you are instructed, ready with your instructions prior to the 30 minutes, you can just give me an indication, or I can come back to court.
Escort, please.
Thank you. Court adjourned.